to our brief tutorial and overview of the paper Scattered Forest Search, Smarter Goat Space Exploration and Optimization with LLMs. In this tutorial and brief overview, we'll be going over, first of all, how to use the code demo we provided, which allows you to play around with our algorithm and generate solutions to problems. Then we'll be going over a brief overview of the paper, including the methodology and some of the key results. All right, let's get started. So first of all, I'll show you how the demo works. You can set up the demo and run a demo by first going to our code base, which is this GitHub repo, and follow the setup here to basically set up a con environment from which you can run the app from, right? Once you have everything installed, you can run the application by running this line here, and then going to the website, right? Website, that's this here. You'll see something like this. This is the interface. You need to provide your own API key for the corresponding model. We have a choice of 3 different models here, right? And then once you've done that, you can provide it with a problem. So let's say write a function count primes. Now it's very important that you provide the function signature here, because what the algorithm does is going to generate a bunch of unit tests, right, based on this function signature, to test out the solutions it generates, right? That's the sort of feedback it uses to self-refine and revise its solutions. That counts the number of primes between 1 and k. All right, once you've done that, you can hit submit, right? There we go. So now it's thinking, it's generating unit tests, right? Generating solutions, testing on solutions, planning on next steps, revising. There, boom. Here's the output, right? Here's the solution you came up with. And if you, right? And this is like, right, remember how it generates unit tests to test on, right? So here it displays how many unit tests this solution passes, right? And if basically what happens is if it doesn't pass all the unit tests, it's going to do some revisions. And in this case, the problem seemed pretty easy, so it only required 1 revision. But usually it could take anywhere up to 10 revisions here, right? 10 is the budget we set, right? And the more revisions it does, the longer it thinks, right? Because I mean, this is like a test time, kind of like a test time algorithm, right? Inference scaling. So basically, on harder problems, it's going to spend more compute. On easier problems, it's going to spend less compute and output it very fast, right? Yeah, but yeah, it's very cool. Feel free to play around with this. It's quite fun to see what it does, right? And see what happens if you make the problem harder, easier, increase the budget, decrease the budget, right? But yeah, all right. Now let's move on. And now let's see how, right? How does it do this? What's the magic? What's the secret sauce? What's the magic behind this algorithm, right? So, kind of like the key idea, right, behind this algorithm is that we can actually view this the solution generation, right? Solution generation as like an optimization problem, right? And it's an optimization specifically across this what we call this language space or code space, right? This is kind of like a 2D representation of the code space, right? And basically each of the points in this space is like a different textual solution, right? Obviously, this is only a visualization. In actuality, the code language space is very high dimensional. So yeah, this is like a 2-dimensional visualization. You see here the contours, right? The contours are the number of tested passes, or in this, for code generation, it's test passed. For like a reasoning task or something else, it could be some other kind of like reward signal, right? It doesn't have to be test pass, but in this case, test pass makes the most sense, right? And basically, like this different solutions pass different number of tests. And the key idea here is that, right, since this is like a once we view this as like a black box optimization problem, right? We can actually employ some optimization techniques to help us search more effectively search across this high dimensional space for the correct answer, or the answer that passes the most tests, right? And some of these, right, we look at some of these techniques here, right? We can actually, you can look at like BON, for example, right? Repeat, or also known as repeated sampling, right? Is we're just sampling different, kind of like different points independently in the space, right? Line search, or also known as sequential revision or reflection, is where you each solution depends on the previous solution generated, right? And you make these revisions based on the number of unit tests the previous solution passed. You do revisions, and then you come up with like a next solution, and keep doing this until you reach like a better solution. Tree search, right? Tree search, like Monte Carlo tree search, can also be viewed in this lens, right? Your tree search is kind of like it's kind of similar to like a trust region search, actually, right? Because you're looking across like this whole region, kind of like this whole region here. You're kind of like spreading out a bit in your search to try to find the correct solution, right? So it turns out there's actually a couple other techniques, right? You can adapt from optimization, which includes like scattering, which is basically you exploring more diverse solutions, multi-start, which we call foresting here, multi-start initialization, right? You start from multiple points, and scouting, which is like similar to ant colony optimization or particle swarm optimization, right? Yeah, for more details, you can read the paper, but let's go on to any questions? No questions? Great. Okay, let's go on to key results. Yeah, key results. So yeah, first of all, we actually see using, if we incorporate these optimization techniques, you can actually see it scales like way better, right, than any of the previous approaches, which are usually line based, tree based, or like repeated sampling based, right? On the x-axis here is the number of solutions generated. On the y-axis here is the proportion correct. So basically, as you can see here, as you generate more solutions, right, you see this pretty nice scaling curve for our method, which uses these optimization techniques, right, versus the other approaches which don't really scale that well. You can see also, importantly, this is the same thing for tokens, right? Even if you look at a token level, our SFS still scales better, right? Same thing if you use a higher budget, right? We also see this is true for different data sets, such as APPS, code contest. Same for different models, right? Same if you have like a correct test or incorrect test or self-generated tests, right? HumanEval, Leetcode, MBPP, right? So yeah, overall, we see very consistent performance gains across the board, and we're able to achieve some SOTA results using these optimization techniques. So yeah, this can lead to higher accuracy, faster discovery. This makes everything more applying optimization techniques, and makes the search process more efficient, especially when you're trying to do like inference scaling or test and compute, right? This is very, very, very useful. You can, and yeah. So these are simple but powerful techniques you can apply, and viewing this code generation task as like a black box optimization framework really does help a lot. So yeah, that's the basic overview of the paper. For more details, feel free to go look at the paper, look at our code base, right? Yeah. Thank you for listening.